Hi, this is Steph. I first I wanted to say for people in the U.S. Um, it looks like just about the entire country. Right here, it looks like it's only going to be about 3 days, but then the weather keeps changing. But uh, we're excuse me, we're all going to be like in a major deep freeze. Um, and you know, I'm no power grid expert or anything. I'm just going off what other people are yakking about online. But it makes sense to me that you know people it's when it gets down to like zero or some places minus 30, 40, whatever. It is going to strain our electric grid, and if anyone's being honest, you have to admit the infrastructure in this country is garbage. And so I am fully expecting the possibility of at least a short-term blackout or maybe rolling blackouts, where they turn it off for a while, turn it back on, whatever. And I'm good. I mean, I got my wood stove, so I'll be warm. I can cook on there. If not, I have so many grills. I don't even know how we got so many grills, but I can always go outside and put wood in a little grill and cook out there. But I don't need to. I cast iron pans. I'll throw them on the wood stove. But and I've got a generator. I have another generator. My neighbor across the road um, took it over and checked it out and got it running and put gas in it and stuff. So that's ready for my neighbor behind him, so she can keep her house warm if power does go out, because it is very, very bitter. And she's in a mobile home. It's an older mobile home, so they're not. That's like trying to live in a camper and stay warm. And Mike and I did that for 2 years, and believe me, it's not easy. Um, but so just a reminder, you know, just have some extra stuff on hand, because if you have a long enough time, you know, that the power's out, just remember, like, the gas station isn't going to, everyone uses a computer, so like no one's going to be able to transact anything. So chances are, if you don't have it in the house, you're not going to be getting it. So just a little reminder. But okay, Monday is the inauguration, of apparently everyone's savior now. Billions of people on the planet, but there's one guy who's going to save all of us. Sure. um I mean, I don't have a political channel. I've said that many times. I mean, I'm a political atheist, or in other words, a voluntarist or an anarchist. Uh, I think government's silly. I mean, I just do. I don't understand why adults think that they have to have other people to tell them what they can do and what they can't do. I just can't comprehend that. I'm sorry. That's just my point of view. And of course, I have to live under government. Um, but this would be my ideal government. But the problem is, you can't keep governments honest, because I think the type of people that want to go into government are just not the type of people who really care about you or me or anybody else. I mean, they're lying in their pockets. And but my ideal government would just be, um, if we even had to have a federal government, their only concern would be protecting your rights and protecting our borders. But I would think if the U.S. would stop going around demolishing countries all over the world and threatening people constantly, you probably wouldn't have a need for that, because I just don't think you'd have a need. Uh, but I would just like to see a very, very minimal government, just serving a function that it absolutely needs to function, like protecting our rights, because I'm pretty sure that's why the government was set up in the first place. That's supposed to be their sole responsibility, is protecting our rights. I don't exactly feel like I have rights anymore. I mean, there's one right I definitely don't have. And if you don't have it, it's not a right, it's a privilege, as George Carlin said. Um, but, you know, I've just I scroll through not just YouTube, but other platforms, Rumble and whatever. And it's just it's video after video of Trump, Trump this, Trump that, or bashing the other side or what. It's like, why do we even have to have sides? It, to me, that's a whole psychological operation that you've got the left and the right. I mean, technically, we have the independents, we have um, the Libertarian Party. I don't know if the Green Party is still around or the Tea Party or whatever, but you only ever hear about two. But why do we even have that? I mean, say at the state level, your state representatives, if they're Republican, they're still representing, term used loosely, people who are not Republicans, and vice versa. If you get a Democrat in, you still have people living in your area that you're supposedly representing that are of a different party, or you might have people like me. I'm not affiliated with any party. My belief is I want to have freedom. I want to have the freedom to speak my mind. I want to have the freedom to protect myself and just like live my life, as long as I'm not hurting anyone else or, harassing other people or which, aren't things that I do at all. And I would think most people that that's what they want. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I only know the political persuasions of two people on my whole street here, only because people up there had a Biden sign in their yard, and my friend who's you know told me. I mean, she's a socialist. That's so. But as far as everyone else, I have no idea. I don't care. But I I guess I wanted to talk about the divisiveness, and I wish people would start understanding that they they fuel the divisiveness. I read the mainstream articles every morning. I've been doing this for years. And when you go through the comments now, I don't know if all these are real people, but it's nothing but fighting. It's the left blaming the right blaming the left, everyone bashing everyone, and I'm just like, we're all people. We're all just trying to live our lives. I, I, do people think censorship is really a good thing? Like words, a sentence or a paragraph or an article or a book that's too dangerous that it can just be out there. I don't know. I don't find words scary. I mean, it depends on the content. I had my neighbor threatening my life some years back, but I mean, you know, I just don't understand. And I really think um my perspective is Trump is just playing his part. Um, think about it. Why would the Democrats have such two blundering fools for the last 4 years? Why would they want their party to look so bad? Oh, I don't know, maybe to assure Trump got in. He's a technocrat, or he's certainly aligning himself with technocrats. He's talking about Bitcoin now. First of all, I'm not a crypto person. I really don't even understand how it works, but I do know this. The valuation is based in US dollars. Well, I hate to clue people in, but the US dollar is going to collapse. The US empire is going to collapse. We have been collapsing. It's just that they keep kicking the can down the road. They'll print more money. We're either going to have another pandemic or a war or something that gives them an excuse to just keep printing money or just, entering it in a computer. It's not real. There's nothing that backs our money. Nothing. I mean, like none of this is real. It's all a big play. It's a big show. Um, but last night I just got tired of well, I'm getting really super bored because I just sit in this house day after day, and it's really hard to just be here by myself. And I'm having problems with my truck, so and I don't really like to go like walk around stores or you know there is a park. I was going to go down there the other day and just walk around the park, but I couldn't get my steering wheel to turn because I think the pump in my steering is going slowly, and I can't get anyone to look at it. So I don't know, but I got in the truck and first I filled up my fluid container, the steering fluid, hopped in, couldn't turn the wheel. I sat there for like maybe 10 minutes because eventually usually it loosens up and it just didn't. And then I went out later, hopped in the truck, turned the key, steering wheel turned. So, I don't know, but half the time I'm afraid I'm going to get stuck somewhere because I won't be able to steer my truck and then, be a pretty long walk home. But anyway, um, so yesterday I just got tired of all the garbage online and I binged on about an hour and a half or maybe 2 hours of just animal videos. And they are funny, have to admit. And I love animals and they are goofy. But it struck me while I was watching it. These weren't all just American pet owners. I don't even like to say pet owners because I really don't think you can own another living thing. Pet parents, I mean, I don't anthropomorphize my animals. Like, I don't dress them up or paint their nails. Or yeah, they're dogs and I treat them like dogs and my cats. But they're part of the family. I don't really feel like I own them. But all that aside, what struck me is that these were videos from like people around the world. I don't know what all the languages were. I mean, I know some of it I recognize as Spanish. There might have been some Italian or maybe something like that in there. Uh, The one sounded like maybe Eastern European, Russian, something like that. And people of different colors and and I just it just struck me at the time. It's like, why do we all fight? You know, our government like wants us to hate other people in other countries, and I don't hate them because I don't know anybody in other countries, and why would I hate someone in another country? What, because they have a different culture? I always thought that was interesting. I always wanted to study anthropology because I always wanted to know how different cultures emerged and why we are all so different. And I always thought that was fascinating. I don't want to have the entire world lumped in where we're all just one big homogenous blob and there's nothing different about any of us. And that's where they're taking us. But anyway, I was watching the video and like I said, it just struck me. I was like, you know, people are people. People have their pets. They take video of them because they love them and they think they're funny, and they were. And they weren't that different from me or you or anybody else. People, these weren't people like Americans seem to think like if you live anywhere but in the West, like you must be living in a cave. And you know, I don't know. I mean, I've actually seen that in comments some years back, but I actually saw someone saying something about people living in caves and things, and it's like, why don't you look up like what some of these countries looked like before we went in and destroyed them? You know, highways, cars, apartments, houses, whatever. Sorry, I'm getting all these notifications popping up now, but you know, may- maybe people think I'm just too altruistic, or if that's the right word, or naive. I don't think I'm naive. I just think I see things differently than most people do. I don't listen to the mainstream media. I mean, I just go through it to see what kind of propaganda they're blathering about and what they're pushing. And they've been pushing the birdie thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's coming because the WHO just made some statement. Oh, it's a big concern now. So don't be surprised. Um, but it's like I'm not a globalist, okay? I'm not a globalist at all. I'm not exactly a nationalist. I'm just a person, I just happened to be born in the US and I'm an American. It wasn't my choice. That's just the way it worked and here I am. But I never, even though I was in the military and all that, I was never a big rah-rah flag waving um, overly patriotic type person. I'm just not, right or wrong or whatever. That's just me. But like I said, I was just watching funny animal videos and it made me feel good. It made me laugh and it brightened up my spirits. But I just thought, like, you know, I know it's a tired old phrase, but like, why can't we all just get along? And I really think people would, except for government intervention and people being brainwashed into just, hating people in other countries for no particular reason. Because if you ask most people, they can't really give you a specific reason. And they're not going to say, well, because, the news told me to or whatever. But that's what it is. But, I'm watching people in whatever countries they're in having fun with their pets and taking video just like I do here. Sometimes I take videos of my dogs or my cats when they're being silly. So why do we all hate each other? And right in this country too. If people would understand, the conquer and divide thing, they keep us divided so we can't come together and work towards our best interests, not what suits the government in their pockets. And I just can't believe so many people out there are just still so entrenched in that left right thinking. You know, like I said, I think people who can't take care of themselves, I mean, like if you have someone who's born with disabilities that would, prevent them from ever working, well, yeah, that person needs to be cared for. And if they don't have eventually family or whatever, yeah, I would like to see that person cared for. Um, and I would like to see rights protected. But, your rights are inherent, but they really aren't rights when you have government because they can take them from you, which means they are a privilege. Bottom line is, I think no matter where you are in the world, no matter male, female, um, you know, uh, your culture, whatever, I really think people just want to live their lives, be left alone, be able to be happy, do their thing, work whatever job they want or raise a family, just live and let live, I guess. And it just really bothers me. Um, and I just ran up to Dollar General a little while ago and was speaking to the cashier, and it just struck me that because I asked him something about the cigarettes, because I don't know if this actually went through, but Biden's trying to ban all the cigarettes right now and make them all with like half the nicotine. And first of all, nicotine's not. Look up the vegetables that contain nicotine, and I can't remember. I think it's nightshade vegetables, like tomatoes and others. Just look up. Just type in what vegetables contain nicotine. I don't know. I never heard of anyone trying to quit their tomato habit. It's all the additives and crap that they put in it because you can buy pure nicotine. And I don't know how you do it, but like you turn it sort of into a vapor and you just smoke the nicotine alone. Or you could grow tobacco in your backyard and there's no additives. So many things that the government just, I'm sorry, just leave the cigarettes alone. Let people decide. Yeah, it is hard once you get addicted, and I'm one. But to me, that's like, why are you worrying about cigarettes? Can we stop some of the wars, maybe? I don't know. I'm just thinking that might be a little more important than worrying about having cigarettes that have less nicotine in them. Because we need to protect people. What about the other people that are getting bombed, getting their houses bombed and everything? Their kids, their family members. Does anybody ever look at wars from the perspective of people? People die in wars. And not just our people, the people that we're attacking, and they didn't do anything. It's disgusting. Maybe what we need is more people to watch some animal videos from people around the world and see just how similar we all are. We're just people trying to live in a house and live our lives and have our pets and take some funny videos and put them on YouTube or upload them to the internet. I don't know where they get all these different videos, but I am not expecting things to get magically better in this country. I fully believe things are just going to. The American empire's done, folks. It's done. And now Donald Trump's yapping about the Bitcoin. Well, when the dollar collapses and your Bitcoin's valued in dollars, what's it going to be worth? To me, it's just a stepping stone to bring in the central bank digital currency, which is ultimately what they want us on. People need to start seeing through the propaganda and stop letting them divide us so much. We're all just people. I'm just a person who lives in my little house with my animals. I love my animals. And as a whole, I still like people. I'm not too fond of my neighbors right now. I'll give you that much. Except for the kid across the street who helps me with things and my friend who lives behind him. Everyone else still got the blinders on. So I have no use for them because they burned their bridges with me. But, you know, I don't harbor ill will towards other people just because they aren't living in my backyard or, they speak a different language or they live on a different continent or I mean, it is what it is. There's people around the world and we're all people. And the entity that stokes all this fuel, what I say, stokes all, yeah, the fuel that promotes the hatred and the divisiveness, it's all from the government. It's not coming from us, but it gets into some of us and don't let it get into you. You have to push all that crap aside. So I don't know. This has just been bothering me and I just wanted to get that off my mind and I would like to see things get better, go in a different direction, but I've been through so many presidents in my lifetime. How many times do people have to fall for, oh, it's going to be different this time? Change? Sure. It's not going to change people. Things are not going to change until we all change ourselves and our mindsets, start to think for ourselves, think about this logically and critically, and go, why am I sitting here allowing other people who are just other people, like the people who run my township, who say, I can't have a well, I can't have a septic system, I have to buy the water from in town. I can't have chickens. Why do these people get to dictate my life? Why do you want anyone dictating your life? Can't think for yourself? We all need to start thinking for ourselves. That's all I wanted to say. Have a good weekend. Stay warm. Make sure you have everything for this deep freeze in case the power goes out. Okay, thanks. Bye.